various types of angles we have. So when the angle is less than 90, we call it acute. Please don't forget this. That is an acute angle, an angle less than 90 degrees. Then when the angle is equal to 90, that is what we call a right angle. So 90 degrees is also called a right angle. Then when the angle is between 90 and 180 degrees, that is what we call obtuse. The angle is greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees. Then when the angle is on a straight line, that is straight angle is what we call 180 degrees. So 180 degrees form a straight line angle. Then finally, reflex when the angle is bigger than 180 but less than 360. So this is a reflex angle. So please take note of this angle between 180 and 360. That is from 181 to 306 to 359. That is a reflex angle. Then when you get to 360, you start the process again 0, 1, 2, 3, just like that. So take note. So before we go to naming an angle, let me show us the applet I designed for this lesson. So that is this. So this is the applet I designed for this lesson. You can see it said B is 0 degrees. See, this is B, this is the vertex. You can see the angle is showing 0. Let me see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if you can see it well. Let me do the font size. So let me increase the font to, let me say 20. I think this is much better. You can see the 0 degrees here. So this is the 0 degree. Now, as I click on this point and move, you see that is as point C is moving, this is the gap I'm talking about. So this is the opening. So there's always an opening between two lines when they meet. So line AB, you can see it, and line BC, they meet at this point B. So this is the opening between the two lines. So this opening is called an angle. That's what I explained in the definition. Then you see the C now. C, as C is going bigger, you see the angle is increasing, and you can see the statement here. This type of angle is acute, and you know why it's acute, because it's less than 90 degrees. 51 is less than 90, so we call it acute angle. So take note of that. When it increases and gets to 90, let me stop at 90. Now this is 90. Immediately you get to 90, you see the name have changed to right angle. So this type of angle is right angle because the angle between the two lines, that gap or the space or the opening between the two lines is 90 degrees. So that angle is called a right angle. So please take note of that. And these are the arms. AB and BC are the arms. So if I keep turning this angle, now it's greater than 90 but less than 180. So this is what we call an obtuse angle. Angle between 90 and 180 degrees. Greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees. So you can see this type of angle is obtuse. So when you keep turning it, when it gets to 180, let me put it straight. Now it's 180, you can see it, 180 degrees. So this is what we call a straight line. So this is a straight angle. Angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. And if you observe, all the angles they are at B. B is the vertex of the two arms of this angle. So if you continue turning, the last set of angle you will get is the reflex. So this is the reflex angle, angle greater than 180 but less than 360. So angle between 180 and 360. So that is the reflex angle, which is this. See, the immediately you get to 360, you still continue the process again, 0, just like that. So this is how we name various types of angles. So please take note of that.